on the floor, go and conquer the day like a warrior, like warriors. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right, that's right. No need to panic anymore. We got lots of support and an army of warriors by our side. We fight the good fight when we unite. We fight the good fight when we unite. Cause that's what a tribe does. We got your back so you can relax and focus on all the important stuff, like getting your business done. This is our tribe. We look out for each other. That's right, that's right. This is our tribe. We help each other grow in business and life. That's right.
Welcome, everybody, to the Explore ProTech Coffee Chat show. My name is Sondra, and I am one of the hosts. I live in Michigan. We talk to people from all over the world about business, all aspects of business, and we love our live show because you can ask questions on YouTube and we interact with you. So hello to everybody on YouTube. Today's topic is a good one. We're talking about e-commerce and online systems and platforms. We brought back an expert to join us today. Her show last time was one of our top shows of the year. So I was super excited to have her with us. So Miss Kelsey, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Anderson with Jera Marketing. So today's topic, why e-commerce strategies matter and online business tools. So kind of just an overview, like in today's digital world, having that online business, it's not about just having your information out there and having that online, it's about having the online presence and creating an experience for your customers and potential customers. So creating effective strategies help you not only reach the right audience, but offer a seamless experience for them and ultimately help drive your sales. So really the big thing is without a clear strategy, it's easy to get lost in the noise of the internet. So as online businesses, we don't have the brick and mortar or the storefront that your customers can walk into. So think of your online presence as your storefront. You want your website, your socials, or whatever you're using for your online presence to essentially be your storefront. So it needs to be user-friendly, easy to find information. If you have a website, quick to load, easy to use and navigate, and good call to actions, so it's clear as to what and where your customers or potential customers can go. So as far as the strategy, the biggest thing to do is to create a roadmap. So like, how do you want your customers to interact with you, and what is their journey through your business? So how do you want them to essentially walk through your store, your online presence? How do you want them to feel as they go through your online presence, socials, your website, whatnot? What actions are you wanting them to take? Mapping this out. So creating, whether it's on a piece of paper or using a tool such as draw.io, mapping that out really helps you identify what that journey looks like, what tools and strategies you can implement and where you want to implement them throughout that journey. And then over time, where in that journey can you make improvements? So as you grow as a business, based off of feedback or just you using your website or your socials, where is it that you can make those improvements, and what are you wanting to add into it? So kind of documenting the entire journey as far as what you're using, where you're using it, how you're using it, and how your clients and your potential clients or your leads are using that as well is going to be kind of the main key and driver for how you function online, especially as an online business. With that, like I mentioned earlier, tools that you can use, website. On your website, make sure if you do have one, make sure it's user-friendly for mobile, especially because a lot of people are not sitting at their desktops nowadays. They're on their phones. So you want to first and foremost make sure that it is mobile friendly, have the clear call to actions, whether it's signing up for a newsletter or making a purchase or contacting you. Make sure that's easy for your customers or potential customers to find and use. Content marketing, so blogging, video contents, newsletters, those are additional tools that you can implement separately or with your website. You don't have to have both. You can kind of create those on their own. So I know in the description we talked about SEO. I am not an SEO expert, but it is important. I know it helps people find you in the vast online digital world. With SEO, it's all about using the right keywords and optimizing your online content. For SEO, I would recommend working with someone that specializes in SEO, as it's not a one and done game. It's a long game. SEO is constantly search engine optimization. It's a long strategy. So making sure that all of your online websites and blogs and newsletters has good keywords and titles, descriptions, any pictures, has the alternate text for those that, it helps just optimize all that. So like I said, I'm not an SEO specialist at all, but I do know that there's a lot of tools that go along with SEO that you can use as far as just for kind of getting your feet wet with it, such as Google Keyword Planner, or I know there's another tool, SEMrush, and I know there's a wide array of other tools out there for that, to help ensure that all of those are optimized, or even researching as far as like what your customers are searching for online. I don't know if I'm in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's available everywhere, but Google My Business, is that a worldwide thing? I think it is. But that's a free thing that you can claim your Google My Business listing. And if you ensure that you have all of your information out there accurate, if you have customer reviews, that's really beneficial to help improve local search listings and your search rankings, to help you rank in your local area, and be found just through Google My Business. So when you're Googling Jura Marketing, my local business will show up for those around me. Social media tools are really beneficial. With social media, it can get overwhelming really fast and time consuming. So kind of part of your strategy that you want to plan for is figuring out where your ideal clients and what platform they're on, and focusing on like one or two of those platforms, because it can be so time consuming. So really just start with one or two platforms versus trying to be on all of them, as you're not going to be able to keep up with all of them. social media is really about interaction. So you don't want to just post constantly. You want to actually interact with your audience, respond to comments, participate in conversations, be your authentic self, as that is going to help you resonate with your audience and also help you attract your ideal customer that you want to work with. Hopefully weed out, the nightmares that you potentially would get if you're not being your true self. You'll end up with a bigger headache than you'd care to. And as you're interacting online with your customers, make sure that you're not only in the social media, along with the reviews, get permission from your customers that are currently using your system or product, and share that experience so that your future clients can see kind of the experience that your current clients are having, which will also help build that rapport and that trust with the online world. I feel like I'm talking a lot. And then, once as far as continuing down the tools way or path, once you've had someone interact with you, you want to ensure that you are continuing that interaction with those potential clients or clients. Using a CRM is a really great way to do that. If you find a great CRM out there that can store all of your customer data, you can use tools within that service to ensure that your customer data is safe, whether, versus having a piece of paper with everything written down on it or an Excel spreadsheet. You have that tool that can help you segment your lists out into various topics of interest, whatnot, or however you decide that you want to interact with those clients. You have some that may not want to receive newsletters. You may have some that will. So you can have those two different lists out there. And really, those can also help streamline your business. So you can automate a lot with a good CRM. You can streamline your sales process, create loyalty or referral programs, just keeping you top of mind. And I see I have some hands up. Peter, I think yours was up first.
So I'm gonna go ahead, Sondra. I think for me, I am by no means an expert on any of these topics.
Yeah.
However, being the CEO of Explore ProTech, I need access to all of it. But at the same time, I can't function at all. A lot of these spaces are almost like they're full-time jobs. Like you would need to hire somebody to actually fulfill that particular role. Like social media on its own it's a mammoth. It's a giant. And I think when you're starting out and you're on your own and you look at all the different aspects that are required in a space and you're thinking, oh, CRM, social media, customer journey, oh my goodness me, it's quite overwhelming. And that's where people quit. They're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this difficult. I didn't know that being an entrepreneur didn't mean I can spend days on the beach, that I'm actually really stuck, actually really working. My dream was, I thought I would quit my job, become an entrepreneur and do business on the beach. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's not like that. Entrepreneurs generally, we have this mindset of let's work hard now so that we can enjoy life in the future. You try and enjoy it too much now and there will be no future. So my advice is going to be a whole lot more simple. My advice would be make friends with all the different people strategically that are the experts on those individual topics. So if you are in a space and you're building relationships, then make sure you're building a relationship with somebody that's a social media guru, and make sure you're building a relationship with somebody that is a CRM specialist, or make sure that you're building relationships with people that understand communications and how to talk. Make sure you reach out and have friends that are in the sales space and in the marketing space and in the graphic design space, and instead of tackling the monster on your own, surround yourself with those people, because those are the people that you can reach out to and go, I'm a little stuck. I'm supposed to be doing this. I don't quite know what I'm doing, but they do. And I can sit back here and I can go, well, I've done that. So I'm not speaking out of, well, why did you go and try it? I've done it. So in regards to our CRM, I use Jira. So that makes my life easy because that's Kelsey. That's a connection that I've made. In regards to the host of the Coffee Shop Conversation show that I used to host, I don't have to host it anymore because that's Sondra. In regards to marketing, I can reach out to Marlon August, or in regards to web development, I can reach back up to Kelsey or Gareth or Renee Bresser. If I want to do an event and I need somebody that's well-versed in events, I can reach out to Lesetja and be like, hey, I need your help. So there's all these different aspects that you can pull together, and I understand that it might be slightly off the topic, but at the same time, it just gives you the ability to tackle the monster almost one relationship at a time, and not one topic at a time.
Right.
I've been in the social media space. It's not for me. It's a monster. Trying to tame that monster is just ridiculous. And I think that if you're building relationships to further your business, try and build those relationships with people that are trying to do the same thing, so that you're not just taking from them, but they have the ability to take from you too. So you're part of their growth, they're part of yours. It becomes this like united friend circle. You all grow together. And I think because I've done it that way, if I look at all the coaches in the Ignite program, I wouldn't be able to have the Ignite program without the coaches and without those relationships. But I can focus on different things because I don't have to keep distracting myself with, oh, now I need to go back to the social media. Oh, no, now I need to go back to the marketing. Oh, now I need to go back, and I need to have my attention everywhere. I actually don't, because I've built the right relationships with the right people. So I think pay attention to the topic, but just remember on the side, relationships will help you get there a whole lot quicker.
Agreed. And then also, like, if you take everything in little bite-sized pieces and you add those pieces into that roadmap, that's where you'll find the success. You once you've kind of got an idea of what you're wanting, and that sounds very much like what you've done, Peter, is you take your journey and you plug in who you need for the areas of what you need, which is what will help you succeed in the long run, and using those that specialize in those areas to fulfill those needs. Mr. L.
So you're also into this Mr. L thing, Kelsey. You see, I'm pronouncing your name wrong now because you call him Mr. L that you never called me before. It's okay.
Because I don't want to butcher your name.
Okay, no worries. Look, Peter, thank you for mentioning the roadmaps and the connections and the networks that one can have, so that your journey into entrepreneurship is softer. It's not as hard as when you have to climb the mountain on your own. It's absolutely awesome. And Kelsey, very, very interesting topic. The first thing that came to mind when you started was, so when you want to go into the social media space,
Mhm.
you need to research your clients to know, where do I find them? You know, where are most of them? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they emailers? Are they, where's the other one? Did I
LinkedIn.
mention them? Facebook, LinkedIn, and all
Mhm.
that. So where will I find most of them? And I think your message as well should be directed to them and
Right.
not at them. It should
Yes.
be to them. It should communicate with them to say, this is you. If you're a business coach, you're not going to sell much on TikTok.
No.
You know, you're not going to connect with people on TikTok. TikTok is fun, but there are products that are made for TikTok that you can sell on TikTok. So you need to research your clients and know exactly where are they, so that you create your message so that it speaks, or so it draws their attention.
Mhm.
And you spoke SEOs and which is really still
That's
above my
mostly
level
over
of
my head too.
comprehension. But it is also important to know, when you go into the social media space, what terminology am I going to use when I go onto LinkedIn? How do I post, and what do I say when I post, so that my message goes across to the right people,
Right.
and that it'll draw their attention, not just for you to say, well, they've read my message, I've seen how many people it has reached and all that. They need to engage with you. So that is very important for you to know the correct terminology. And luckily, as Peter mentioned, we've got the likes of you that can help us map it out to say, you on Facebook. Facebook people do not like the formal lingo. They like fun, but also informative.
Right.
So it is absolutely, absolutely important for everybody that wants to be on social media, to know where they fit and where their clients fit, where their product fits. Otherwise, you'll be lost.
Right.
You
You'll be
know,
speaking to a brick wall because you won't be
exactly.
connecting with, you won't connect, and there
Absolutely,
will be no
absolutely.
interaction, nothing.
Yeah,
Agreed. And I
it'll
think
reach
there
the
was,
people.
yeah, and I
So
think
you
there was
need
a previous coffee chat that talked about, learning who your client avatar is,
yes.
and really kind of that all ties into all of this. So you do know how to speak to them and which platform, because yes, each platform has a different tone to it per se.
Mm, No, absolutely. And yeah, thank you so much for that. And hi, Marlon.
Thank you, Kelsey. And gentlemen, I want to go a little bit backwards. Because you said a lot. All good
I
stuff.
did.
But this is like, do I interrupt her and ask questions or do I wait?
You can interrupt anytime.
So, e-commerce versus service-based
Mhm.
businesses. What would you say would be the key differences as far as how to use business tools and so on and so forth? Because that title is e-commerce, so I do want to touch on what the difference is between those two, because I know from working with a client now in e-commerce, craziness, this year that is very different in some aspects. So can you touch on like how you would differentiate that as far as using tools and stuff?
Yeah, so e-commerce, you're selling products, not necessarily services, which they do kind of cross over a little bit, because as service providers, you are selling a product, but you're not selling just products. You're also selling yourself a lot. Products, you're gonna you know, you think of Amazon, so you're searching for a specific thing and then what options you have within that. So if I want a phone, I'm searching for phones and what capabilities, what features are in there. So you're going to focus a lot on, you know, features. And I'm by no means an e-commerce expert. I do not sell e-commerce products. But you're going to focus more on products and features and kind of, you know, and that's where SEO will come in really handy, and working with somebody that specializes in SEO, because they'll be able to help you identify the keywords that people are going to search for your type of product and how to get that product higher in search rankings. And Marlon may have more information on, I don't know if, do you work with a lot of e-commerce products at all, or but or how, yeah, so e-commerce, you're going to focus a lot more on features and whatnot, whereas with yourself as a service, you're going to focus more on you as your brand, necessarily if you're selling your services, because they are focused a lot on you, and as well as what you are selling for your service. Does that?
No, that does make sense. Because we are a brand, especially in the service industry. I feel like we are a brand. I think in e-commerce, you are a brand too, to a certain extent.
To an extent, yes. But they tend to have a lot of products when you're in e-commerce. It's not just one or two, it's not necessarily a couple things. It's usually a wider base of products that they're selling.
Right. One quick question from online, the show, YouTube show. Sarah asked, I will say her name because I can pronounce it. Does Google My Business work for service and product based? You can use that for both, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to like overstep. Okay, cool. Awesome. Peter, come on in.
Yeah, I think regardless of the direction of your business, you can have the most beautiful website. You can encrust it in gold and diamonds, and you can make it pretty. If nobody knows where it is, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It means nothing. It means absolutely zero. So, and I think that's where the tools come in. That's where every different aspect of it comes together. It's not just doing one thing that makes it seen. It's a combination of many things that make it seen. So your social media is one of those aspects, but it's just one. Your SEO is one of those aspects, but then again, it's just one. And depending on where your target audience is, and all of that will relate back to how you actually build out your website, and then what you would use to make sure that it gets seen. Because an unseen website, you can go to a web developer and go, I want the most beautiful website ever. And they will build it for you, and they will charge you a fortune, and it will be great. But don't be fooled. You know, unseen, unthought of, unheard of. It's really as simple as that. And I think that's where a combination, and I think in order for you to understand what combination are you using, what tools are you going to use, what people are you going to speak to that understand those tools, it guides you right back to almost to the very beginning. It doesn't help you just go, I want to build a website, or what's your website about? Oh, I want to sell radios. Well, good for you. You know, it just doesn't work that way. I think it's almost like working backwards. So you would start with, I mean, some people start with their product. Oh, this is my product, but they don't even know if the market needs it. Whereas other people start with the market and discover what does the market need, and then create that product. So it's just a different way of thinking. I know this is where Marlon's brain kicks in, that marketing, that like, where it's like up in your face, in your grill, we exist, we're here, this is the product. And 9 times out of 10, you buy that product because they've researched that you actually need it. So I think it's great to discuss the tools that we require, and it's great to discuss, the CRMs that we would need and all that functionality. But I think if we go to the end of the journey and engineer it backwards, might be a wise idea to start with your customer journey and your avatar first before even thinking of building out your website and what tools you're going to use, because the tools will decide where it gets seen or how it gets seen. And it needs to be seen, but it doesn't help you, you build a website for lawnmowers and then you promote that to people that lay concrete. It doesn't, you can't mow concrete. It doesn't work unless you're ADHD, and I would try and mow concrete. It would almost be like therapeutic. But the whole point is you want to make sure that from a strategic point of view, that what you're building is going to work. And in order to do that, you need to reverse engineer it. And then build your plan from the beginning going towards what you've reversed. So it's don't just make decisions go, oh, this tool is great.
Correct.
I'm going to do
Yes.
this. Okay. Why?
There
Why
is a
would we do
great
it? Yeah.
previous coffee chat conversation around building a client avatar and all of that. So yes, that is key, because then you can, as Peter said, build your messaging around that, create your customer journey, and then identify where you're going to plug those tools in. And some of those tools may not be actual tools that you're going to use, but people that you'll plug in to help you. They can fill in, help your customer journey and help you, as Mr. L said, climb the mountain not alone. Marlon.
Thanks, Kelsey. So awesome to be here, guys. See you all again. Some of you a few times last week, but I obviously love the topic, and I think e-commerce is an interesting space because especially here in Africa, it's still very, very, very let's call it infantile. It's really at the infant level. It's like if we talk Africa, not South Africa specific, because it's obviously growing and growing and growing. But if you go into other parts of Africa, there's still like this lack of trust in purchasing and using your card within the local space, especially Southern Africa, not like the West Africa and things like that, where they like completely ahead in the digital space. And what's beautiful about it, obviously, is that you're able to connect with more people, not just the ones that are in your surrounds. Because, that's the thing about commerce, right? It's literally just this shop that I can have and show people or showcase that same type of customer anywhere around the world. And especially if this product does not decay or has a long shelf life, that really allows me to get it further. South Africa is one of the biggest macadamia nut sales in the world. And these guys are based out in Cape Town, selling mainly to the United States, out into Canada. They got big markets. I was actually on a radio, I was listening to a radio station, and one of the main, a fairly big nougat manufacturer is selling and creating like white labeled nougat for the Burj Khalifa. So this is literally e-commerce at its best, because they're being found, people are purchasing online, and they're buying various products that is generally consumer driven. You buy multiple, it's volume. It's more about volume. Obviously, that depends on the margins and the cost of the product, because now all of us, even going into more industrial space, they also have e-commerce. You can buy something for the tune of like 75,000 Rand, which is like the equivalent of which is a lot of money in some cases. But obviously, if you're buying like like what do you call these valves and things like that, they would be like in excess of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, right? So at the end of the day, e-commerce can fit in all these different spaces. And like everyone has said, it comes down to knowing who you're selling to, speaking their language, and being able to give it to them so that, well, being able to be found so that they can purchase from you. But it all starts with, like Peter said very well, it all starts with the customer. And there's just lots of different ways that one can do it. Just to share one quickly, which I'm finding very interesting, in the United States, QVC. So, but like we're not really used to that. We kind of have our own version where you can, which daytime TV used to watch it in the morning, and you'll see it in, they'll advertise their different Verimark type products. I know when I say Verimark, everyone in South Africa, they'll know what I'm talking about, and then it's like these weird little gimmicky products that you can buy and you can call, and purchase that thing. It's literally e-commerce. But now today, we don't have to do that over the TV. We can go live from our homes, project straight to our friends and our families and their friends and families, and be promoting our products. In China, this is huge. It's huge. It's multi-billion-dollar industry. So if you are not investing in a simple tool like that, which is actually very cheap, it's free practically, as long as you got internet, you can have your products behind you. You can talk about your products. You can have other people come online with you. You do like a live stream from both of your profiles that beams you out to, geez, how many hundreds of thousands of people, and it sits there because it's a live feed. And then you just, you throw back and forth about the various products, and you talk about the benefits, you talk about the features, and because it's consumer driven, people are going to want to buy. So that's pretty much all I've got for the moment. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Marlon. Love that. I love that. Yeah, there's so many cool technology things. The technology is always improving and evolving, and that's amazing. Kelsey, I have a question from the YouTube show from, I'm going to guess Devin, but I don't know. Anyways, for e-commerce specifically, is there good SEO, safe SEO tools to use for that, or do you have to be? Is there a difference between SEO for e-com? Of course, there's a difference, but I mean, tool-wise, is there a difference? That's where I'm getting at.
I don't think there's a difference tool-wise, since SEO is really, keyword driven, and making sure that the content that you're providing out there is, filled with those keywords and optimized for what people are searching for. Like I said, I am not an SEO specialist at all, so I would recommend finding someone that specializes in that and connecting with them and maybe kind of picking their brains. But as far as the tools themselves, I don't think that there is a difference per se between e-commerce and non-e-commerce, because it's all the same. It's just the strategies that those SEO specialists will implement and use will be what varies.
A little bit. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Come on in, Peter.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for relationship building. And yes, I know that there are tools out there that you can use for your SEO, but a tool is designed to be utilized by a person and can only be as good as the person utilizing the tool. So I learned this while in my apprenticeship. I, funnily enough, did my apprenticeship as a panel beater way back when you still had a journeyman that you would learn from. And I remember a winter outside in the yard with multiple broken down cars, and my journeyman took a 4-pound hammer to the roof of a car, gave me a tiny little ball peen hammer and a metal file, and he was like, fix it. And I would fix it, and then he would come along and he'd be like, nice job. And he'd bash it again and go, start again. And I would start again, and I would fix it, and I'd be so proud of me. He'd come along and he'd be like, oh, that's too bad. And he'd bash it again, and I would have to fix it again. And I learned so much, and his job and his goal was to teach me. And that's exactly what he achieved. But what I realized is that he knew more than I did, way more. And I think it's the same when it comes to the tools that we use. I could have had the best metal file and the best ball peen hammer on the face of the planet. It's the person using the tool. So even if I came across the best or the most ultimate SEO tool on the face of the planet, I would still position that tool with somebody that I know is an SEO expert to utilize that tool because I'm not that professional. So there's a lot of strategy that comes into play. There's a lot of and there are things that we don't know, and that's okay because there are people around us that do know. For instance, I think if I was going to be dealing with SEO, then I'd be speaking probably to Gareth. Would be the SEO in the SEO space. Yeah. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Can you find a tool to start yourself off? Yes, you can. Can you learn about it? Yes, you can. Do you want to spend all of your time doing all those little bits and pieces of your... No, you do not. So find the right person.
I love that, Peter. So important to find the right person. Because yeah, they're going to save you hours and time. That's what finding the right person does. It saves you time, mental capacity, energy, all the things. That's why I went to back to Kelsey the other day, and I was just like, I know, you know Jira marketing, and you know the product you use. Like, can you help me make it do X, Y, and Z? She's like, I don't know, but I'm sure as heck willing to sit down with you and figure it out. And so she spent 2 hours with me last week and we figured it out. And I'm super happy. I just have to implement it. But yeah, knowing the experts, the Gareths, the Renees, the, people that know the tools is extremely important because that's what you're usually paying them for, is them knowing their knowledge is what you're paying for when you pay them to help you do X, Y, and Z. You can ask Gareth. I will SOS him in a heartbeat for certain things. I'd be like, okay, got myself in a corner. Help me out. Thankfully, 99% of the time he will. But that's also why he's one of my go-tos for referrals and things, because I know he knows his stuff. I know Kelsey knows her stuff. So super important. Marlon, come on in.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Sondra. I think SEO is changing a lot. It's moving to the space where it's becoming a lot. It's always been about relevance, but it's becoming even more so because people, especially the specialists, they got ways of hacking the thing and helping you gain popularity fast and things like that. But really, it's around what Kelsey had spoken about before, just about relevance, right? If you know your customer, you know what they're searching for, you just want to put those relevant things. If they're looking for pink soap, that's what you're targeting then today we've got AI. So I would suggest, if you're clear on your client and you're clear on your product, then you can just tell AI, write me a product description, SEO optimized product description for this product, for this customer. Make sure to use language that they use, and if you can even, you can sort of even go and search sort of keyword planners in Google, and you can feed that into the AI and say, listen, pay attention to this, and based on what's the best searches, give me a good description, and it'll pop it out for you. And then you don't have to be anything smart. You just copy paste, and that's just around SEO. But if you had to take the SEO out and you just had to be super, super, super clear, you can just go with this is my product. And because you know who you're speaking to when you're talking about it, you're always talking about it in that sense, and you link back to that product. And today we're in a world of relevant content. So if you put something on your website, you basically have an authority website like YouTube, another one like Facebook, and both of those point back to your website, and there's relevance. And now when you got powerful, strong websites like YouTube and Facebook that are pointing in your direction. And you can also connect with other people, like Peter was saying, but we're talking from a digital sense, like people that maybe have products that can accompany yours, and then you link to those. It's like, say, listen, if you pair this with that, and then what happens is it becomes relevant links right across. And if you think about the web, that's essentially what SEO is. It's about building all these relevant content and linking them all together. So that, if you to keep it really simple, it's just about being with the right people, like Sondra was saying, and when you know who those people are, when you know who your network is on one end, and you know who would help you in that place, and then you know who your customer is, and you know what products they'd like and how much you'd like to serve them by, then it just becomes much easier to build the whole thing. You don't need to know all the technical stuff.
Right.
So, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I agree with Marlon, and especially, as if you're a newer business, you don't want to jump right to SEO because it is long term. It's not a short game, it's a long game. It gets costly. So newer businesses, you want to start out that way. You want to start out with the simple, just make sure your content's relevant. AI will help with a lot of that. And then once you're established, you can always go in and have an SEO review done. Hire somebody to check your content, and just start with like something small like that, where they can look over and give you some ideas for improvement. Or once you're, super successful, then you can hire that out and have somebody else take care of it for you. But yeah, I would agree. Start simple with all of these tools. Start building your networking, build your relationships with people that can help you in those areas. And once you're established, and once you're profitable and kind of understanding what you're needing even more, that's where you go out and then you hire those out. It will, otherwise, if you're trying to hire everything out from the get-go, you're going to sink your ship.
Very, very true,
so,
Kelsey.
yeah.
Very true. I think a key word both of you said is review. And everybody should know I'm very big on review once a quarter. And I do have people review their resources, one, so you know what the heck resources you have. Review your tools, review your systems. I also offer a system and tool audit, because a lot of people sign up for a gazillion tools and use maybe one. I had somebody who had like 14 different platforms, and I'm just like, holy smokes, what the heck? 3/4 were paid. And I'm like, why? Please tell me why. Please make me understand. It didn't make sense. But we cut the technology expenses way down, because we could and because platforms are always changing, always changing and evolving. So if you're reviewing them and saying, hey, what is the newest things? I know Kelsey in Jira Marketing, she sends out emails weekly. I don't always read them, but I know she sends them out. And then when I asked her last week about my issues, one of the things, she's like, no, it doesn't do that now, but let me look. And I can tell you that in my world, I know what's being built out. I can tell you if it's going to be tackled. And she's like, sure enough, it's an issue that's going to be tackled in the future. I'm like, great. So right now I might have to use something else until it gets built into that system. But it was really good to come to somebody and know that, versus searching for a million different things. So review, and then reviewing your communities. Where are you networking? Who are your community? What communities you're in is so important. Because if you're in a community just to be in a community, shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. Like, why are you wasting their time and your time? I get it. Sometimes you have to step away from a community. Another reason to review communities is to make sure you do that. Like, don't be paying the $20.99 to be in a community every month that you haven't visited in 6 months. That's just craziness. But yeah, that's definitely two of the things I would say, is reviewing those things, because things change. The world's always changing. And if you don't review and make the changes with it, unfortunately, you could get stuck very, very quickly, in good and bad ways. So come on, Mr. L. And I did not tell her she should call you Mr. L. Just putting that out there.
No, she just picked it up, which is okay, So 3 weeks ago, actually 30th and 31st of July, I was at an expo where It was designed for township economies, small business people. You selling or you manufacturing 30 cleaning products or whatever. So it's a very small expo. And it was interesting to find Take a Lot in there. And Take a Lot is encouraging smaller business people to sell through them, which was very interesting. Okay, like, okay, so they say you can sell through us. It doesn't matter how many units you can produce, because I think they order, well, it's produce per order or something like that. So what I wanted to advise entrepreneurs that want to go through that way is you still need to market your product. Even if you lead the people through to Take a Lot to say, you can buy through Take a Lot, you still need to market it. You still need to encourage people to go on to Take a Lot, click, open, log in, and order that product. Because for you to say, I'm selling through Take a Lot, they're not going to market it for you. So it'll be listed, but it'll not be bought. I think I may be right here, Marlon. Macro has got something like that as well, where you order online. They do not market it for you. They do not advertise it for you. It's for you to encourage us to go through online and purchase your product. Because if I go to a macro website, what I'm going to find in there, it's mostly the well-known brands, and I'm going to go buy them. Yours, I would not know. If I'm looking for a dishwashing liquid, I'm going to go find the one that's known, which is Sunlight. Meanwhile, you've got yours, which may be cheaper, which may even be working better than Sunlight, but because I don't know it's there, I'll not buy it. So it's best, and it'll be great for us to also still market our products, make sure that people know where to find them, whether it's at Macro, whether it's wherever online, even if you're selling into your clicks, even if it's a health product that you're selling through clicks or Discam, you still need to direct us there so that we can go to clicks, Discam, or whatever to go buy them. Otherwise, your product will be on the e-shelf and nobody will know about it. So that's the little advice that I wanted to give earlier, Sondra. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, we are getting close to wrapping up. Peter, you want to go first, or you want Kelsey to go first?
Kelsey, go ahead.
Okay, Kelsey, you want to give us some final last words?
Oh, sure. So final last words, kind of the tone of the whole thing, while that we've kind of all said, while tools are great, ensure that you know who your client is, or your avatar, what it is that you're trying to sell, whether it's services or e-commerce products, and build your brand and your customer journey and your plan for how they interact with you, your product, your business, and where those tools will plug in, or people. Focus on those. Start from the beginning or reverse engineer it, and then implement and go back and review it. Review and re-implement or tweak as needed. Because really, e-commerce, all the tools, it all ties together, and it all stems from what you're trying to say and who you're trying to say it to, that all ties back as to how you're going to implement all of those tools or use those tools. And maybe you don't need some of those tools anymore, or you need to plug a person in. So build your network as well. And that's it for me, Kelsey Anderson with Jarrah Marketing.
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much, Kelsey, for your time today.
Yeah.
As always, we do put LinkedIn links in our show description. Miss Susan does that for us. So make sure you book a call with Kelsey. As you will figure out very quickly, anybody in Explore ProTech is always willing to sit down and do a coffee chat with you. I met somebody today that just was like, oh, you're in Explore ProTech. I know people in Explore ProTech, so let me hang out with you today. So that happened earlier today. So yes, Mr. Peter, you, which way are we going here? You want to go?
Yeah, please. Just for the Ignite students in the background, your code word is hashtag Phoenix, as in the one that rises up from the ashes, the Phoenix. Send that to Somerville. You guys know exactly what I mean. Send that in a message to Somerville, along with a message of what you learned watching this particular show. And then drop a message saying that you've shared, because we want to share this across social media. It makes our lives a lot easier. The more we get the message out there, the more viewers we get, the more questions we get asked, the greater the show becomes, the more impact we have. It's just the way it works. Another thing I want to say is that you don't become an entrepreneur overnight. You don't decide one day, I'm going to be an entrepreneur tomorrow, and then you're an entrepreneur. When I first started in the space of being an entrepreneur, there were things I didn't know. And I had to surround myself with people that did know those things. And when I first met those people, they spoke a language I didn't understand. And I remember our first interaction with Marlon, he was like, well, this marketing, and he dropped this whole map, and I was like, dear Lord Jesus, I don't understand half of what he's saying. But over a period of time, I've learned a lot from Marlon, which gives me knowledge, and knowledge gives me power. And now I have the ability to make decisions in a marketing space because I've learned. And there's multiple aspects of people that you can learn from. Gareth in regards to website building and SEO, Kelsey in regards to the CRM in the background, which, by the way, last week was absolutely freaking brilliant. Thank you very much. And if we could put Kelsey's link in the description as well in regards to a CRM that works well for me. I think it's just about understanding that we're not going to get this right overnight. It's something it's a living thing. It constantly changes. It ebbs and flows like the tide. And you're going to need to surround yourself with people constantly. And every now and then you're going to come across something that you're like, oh my goodness me, I don't know anybody that does this. Go find them. Go find them. Because the more you learn, and do you need the tools? 100%. You do. That's why they are created. Do you always need to be the one implementing them? Please no. Do you need to know how they're used? That would be to your advantage. Don't just give away stuff and go, well, I'm not the person. You handle it. Don't do that. You need to have an understanding of what it is they are doing for you. That keeps you at the top of your game. It helps you make decisions. But please don't think that you're going to implement 101 tools to function a business. You'll never see the light of day, ever. So, with that being said, Igniters, hashtag Phoenix, have fun with that, Somerville. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, I will make sure Susan puts her marketing link, of course, and Kelsey is great at answering questions. And just the vast experience she has, cannot speak. And I also use Kelsey's CRM. So, and she's actually helping me manage other people. The clients I work for use the same system. So she's helped me vastly in that, not necessarily because I buy from her, but because she adores me, I guess, and likes to help me. No, so for sure. And yes, thank you to Gareth, because he actually was answering questions in the chat about e-commerce carts and websites. And I think some things that were over, not necessarily Kelsey's domain. So thank you, Gareth, for giving people knowledge in the chat. We greatly appreciate that. So my name is Sondra. I'm the owner of Get It Done Coaching, and I help you set your goals, create your action plans, and more importantly, hold you accountable. You're 75% more likely to get something done with accountability. You can ask Peter. I give him a hard time about accountability, but he gets it done. So, yes, Peter, sign us off.